Right now at noon, the government shutdown enters its first day. What this could mean for local federal workers.
And skies clearing out, as you can see from downtown Pittsburgh. That's backwards. I'm sorry about that. I put that in. It's out clearing. We're out clearing and the skies are clearing out. We got a nice day, but a warm day ahead of us. Hotter temperatures on the way. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, 6 Missouri counties, including Newton, are in a legal battle with the Missouri State Tax Commission.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. It's day one of a government shutdown with both Republican and Democratic leaders at a stalemate over how to move forward. Republican leaders have signaled they could hold more votes today as hundreds of thousands of federal workers across the country are furloughed. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
For the first time in nearly 7 years, the federal government shut down at midnight with no sign of how long it could last.
Well, it ends when the Senate Democrats pick this bill up, passed by the House of Representatives, and vote for it.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune has signaled there are ongoing conversations with rank-and-file Democrats in an effort to convince them to break with party leadership and support the GOP's short-term funding measure.
What gives us the ability to win this argument with the American people is we're standing for what they want with health care, and they are not.
Democratic leaders say they're standing firm that a negotiation has to address their concerns over health care cuts and extending enhanced health care tax credits under the Affordable Care Act.
We inherited this really bad health care system from the last days of the Biden administration. We want to fix it. We just don't want to shut down the government while we're fixing it.
The Trump administration's Office of Management and Budget acknowledged it's difficult to predict how long a shutdown will last and directed agencies to begin shutdown operations.
The Congressional Budget Office estimates 750,000 federal workers could be furloughed each day. Essential employees, including federal law enforcement, military service members, and TSA agents, are required to continue working without pay for now. Aaron Barker works for the TSA in Atlanta.
If it gets to that point where officers can't afford to come in or have to make a decision whether to purchase medication, pay daycare, or put gas in the car to come to work, they're going to have to make that hard decision, and no one really wants to do that.
President Trump has said the shutdown could also result in layoffs and cuts of programs that don't fit with his priorities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And here in the 4 states, a government shutdown could close the gates at national historic sites and parks, furloughing the staff who keep them running. That would mean no tours, no programs, and limited access to the history these sites preserve. And for some, losing access to these spaces carries a deeper impact.
This shutdown will be really extremely difficult for me personally, as well as I think the U.S. citizens, because these are, for the most part, free for most people to come into. And, you know, we take away that access to information and about our history and culture. And I think that's extremely saddening to me because we must know our history.
Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are still distributed during shutdowns, but there could be some slowdowns. Let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Well, some good news. You won't be out clearing any snow anytime soon. I really do. I put that little graphic in by hand every day for noon, and I have never flip-flopped it before. But that's okay. It works either way. We're out clearing the... I don't know what we're clearing. Anyway, skies are looking good. We're looking better out there. We're warming up, though. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Plenty of traffic on the roadways. Folks are getting that lunch commute underway. We started yesterday at 58 and made it up to 84. Still not to record levels, but well above where we should be, especially on those daytime highs. And our temperatures now right back up on their way to being even warmer. Upper 70s, low 80s, and our temperatures should continue to climb just a bit more as we head into the afternoon. The only friend on our side is the fact that sunset's about 7. If it was later, it'd be a little hotter out there. Thankfully, it's a little earlier, but take a look at this. Even by 7, still almost 80 degrees. Clear skies through the evening, upper 60s by 11. We are going to continue to clear out overnight and into tomorrow, and temperatures will continue to climb as well. We're going to take a look at your full forecast, talk about maybe some rain chances next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, Coffeyville, Kansas is mourning the death of a teenager, a victim in a crash involving a high-speed chase. It's a follow-up to a crash that occurred last Friday afternoon in Coffeyville at the intersection of East 8th Street and Patterson Boulevard. Authorities now say 15-year-old Serafina O'Connell has died at the hospital from injuries suffered in that crash. Investigators say the crash occurred as police were chasing a northbound Jeep. The chase began in Oklahoma before crossing into Kansas. The Jeep failed to yield at a stoplight and crashed into an SUV, causing both vehicles to overturn. O'Connell was a passenger in that second vehicle. Authorities in Kansas yesterday charged the Jeep driver, Tanisha Mayberry, with murder in the first degree and the commission of a felony. Oklahoma charges against Mayberry include assault and battery on a police officer, endangering others while eluding police, and larceny from a retailer. The passenger in the Jeep, Cortez Wason Jr., is charged with larceny of merchandise from a retailer and obstructing an officer in Oklahoma. He's facing drug-related charges in Kansas. You can find more on this case on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Newton County joins 5 other counties in a legal battle against the Missouri State Tax Commission. This comes after the commission began withholding hundreds of thousands of dollars from counties refusing to comply with its request to raise property values by 10 to 15%. The commission says Newton County and dozens of other counties assess property below market value, violating state law. When a handful of counties refused to comply, the commission withheld assessment maintenance funds. The lawsuit claims the commission's actions are outside of their authority, and the counties want the court to block the commission from enforcing the changes and withholding state funds. You can read the full lawsuit on our website, of course. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. And auto repair shops across the region report rising costs for quality parts due to tariffs. Shop owners say they're seeing more counterfeit and low quality parts that could damage vehicles. As of May 3rd, vehicle parts face reciprocal duties under U.S. Customs and Border Protection rules. Parts from Germany and Japan now carry a 37.5% tariff rate, while South Korean parts face 27.5%.
Most of the chips especially, and really it's going to take them time to ramp up if and when we ever do make that here in the States, but all of that is coming from overseas, and these cars will not tolerate poor or lower quality tolerances. So you've got to make sure that whatever you're getting is going to play nice with the car in order to make sure that it's actually fixed.
Atwood warns customers about counterfeit parts appearing in legitimate packaging. He says shortage and higher prices create opportunities for fake parts to enter the market. And coming up, the educational and social impacts of a new phone law for Oklahoma schools. And later, we're making pink ribbon poke cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. All Oklahoma schools have moved to a bell-to-bell, no cell phone policy. Now, this means no phones at lunch and no phones between classes. KOAM's Ty Parks takes us to Miami to see how the students are doing without the distraction.
With that sound, all phones in Oklahoma schools must be turned off and stored in a bag. The new state law requires all cell phones to be put away from the time of the first bell to the end of the school day. This is a policy that Miami Schools was considering.
In our junior high, we hadn't allowed students to have their cell phones at all. But then once they became sophomores, we had allowed them to start having them at lunch and in between passing periods. So we had talked about the possibility of just, let's not give them back.
Without the distraction of cell phones, there has been some changes in how students interact.
In class, I think we're seeing a lot less distractions, more focused learning on academics, which is a good thing. They still are one-to-one with Chromebooks, so they have the technology that they need. I know at one point that was kind of the argument for having cell phones, is that connection to technology.
One notable change is there is less drama.
From the discipline side, some of those pieces are people texting things to each other, and you can't see emotion with a text. And so we're having more face-to-face conversations, people engaging with each other a little bit better.
They're starting to relearn body language and context clues all over again.
think this has allowed kids to be kids again. They're talking to one another, they're engaging in ways that they haven't in a long time. Actually, when you go into the lunchroom, they're actually having conversations, and that's what we want. We want kids to be able to communicate and to be able to make connections outside of technology.
In Miami, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
In the event of an emergency, the law does allow for the schools to give an announcement allowing students to use their phones to contact their parents. McDonald County High School students brought the classroom to the barn this morning, kicking off Ag Day for elementary students. Now, second graders from across the district were invited to the McDonald County Fairgrounds to explore farm life through hands-on experiences that included plant science exploration and a look at some modern farm equipment.
A lot of these kids don't grow up around agriculture. They don't get to see these things. So it's really, really important to teach them where their food comes from, what kind of equipment we use. And it's just amazing to see their eyes light up and get to see these things.
The students were also able to learn from high school agriculture students. And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
As we kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we have a recipe that's not only tasty, it'll help raise awareness.
And we are keeping an eye on temperatures heating up over the next few days. 90-degree readings are possible. We'll go over the details when the KOAM News at noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on what's turning out to be another well above average day out there for us. We're getting plentiful sunshine. As I mentioned, some locations probably clear pretty quickly, and that's exactly what we're seeing out there from downtown Pittsburgh, where those skies are clear and the sun is shining in abundance. So we got just a couple of clouds on our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin, but again, nothing significant, nor are we expecting anything significant. We should continue with the clear skies through the evening into the overnight hours, and it will still be clear as we roll into our Thursday. And guess what? If you thought it was going to be sunny again on Friday, you would be correct. Now, Future Track is still hinting at maybe a shower or two tomorrow evening. We'll keep a close eye on that. It does not look very likely, but it was hinting at it this morning. It hasn't given up the ghost, so we'll monitor that very closely because we have had in the past where only one out of the 100 computer things that we look at said it was going to do something, and it turns out that one was the one that was right. So we'll monitor that, but even if we do see something, it's extremely isolated and very short-lived. Otherwise, clear skies, sunny conditions, and Friday, look at that. The only thing that changed is those wind arrows are picking up a little bit of speed. Could have some gusty south winds on Friday, but we're still going to be well above normal. In fact, it's those south winds that are going to help bring in more warm air. So, I mean, this is, again, the last few days, the forecast has been pretty straightforward for at least the time being. The only thing it's doing that we don't like is that, where the temperatures are rising. Mid-80s out there for most of us today. Some could get into the upper 80s. South winds 5 to 10. And again, our skies will continue to clear across the area. Overnight tonight, clear skies will prevail. Now, this morning, last night into this morning, we were expecting low to mid 60s. We weren't even close to that. We had a couple of places, I think the warmest we saw was 62. We had other locations 54, 56 degrees. So it got a lot cooler last night than what was expected. But one of the reasons that the low to mid 60s are going to become a lot more likely in the next few days is because our daytime highs are going to rise. But we could see locations a bit cooler than this tonight. But I think we're going to start to see more low 60s. And with clear skies, calm winds, cool temperatures, some patchy fog tomorrow morning is a possibility, like what we saw this morning, fairly isolated, but it could still be out there as we get our Thursday morning commute underway. And after that, look at these numbers. That's not comfortable at all, and it's not October at all. But we're talking upper 80s. This is when we start to see the opportunity. Some of our southern communities, especially the ones, it gets a little warmer, could reach 90 degrees, which while we may not be at record highs, we're going to be getting pretty darn close in some cases. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we're talking about upper 80s tomorrow, Friday, mid-upper 80s Saturday. It's by Sunday, even though there's nothing really happening in terms of rain chances or anything, we see temperatures turn back around. They're going to start to come back a little. Now, they're still above average. You saw our average high is about 74, so low mid-70s is where we're supposed to be. We're looking at going into the upper 70s to about 80 degrees. So still above average. And then next week, those rain chances are not that fantastic, but at least they're still showing up. We do have those isolated shower and thunderstorm chances starting in the second half of next week. But between here and there, just well above average. And so we talked about it this morning. Just a A lot of folks, you're heading out for fall festivals, spook houses, corn mazes, things where you're typically grabbing, you know, sweatpants, a hoodie, something warm. You want to do the opposite of that as we head into this weekend. Be ready for it to be a little warmer than what you're used to.
It definitely looks like it. All right, Chris, thanks. Well, stick around. We're making pink ribbon poke cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. One great way to help raise awareness for a cause is to host a bake sale. And today's Mr. Food recipe was created for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's check in with Howard, who's making pink ribbon poke cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's the official start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time dedicated to increasing the awareness of a disease that 1 out of 8 women will get in their lifetime. Some of you will walk for the cure, while others might take part in a bake sale to raise money for a cause. If so, we can help with that one. We start by making a white cake mix according to the package directions. Now, while it's still warm, we poke holes in it with a straw or the handle of a wooden spoon. Keep watching, it'll all make sense. Now we'll fill the holes with some strawberry dessert topping, and we'll use a spatula to spread any of the excess. You want to use just enough to fill all the holes, but not to leave a layer on the top. After this chills, we'll frost it with a simple 4-ingredient strawberry cream cheese icing. The strawberry in the frosting makes it pink, which just happens to be the official color of breast cancer awareness. Maybe decorate each piece with a pink ribbon candy like we did here. And when you serve it, everyone will be wondering how you got all the berry filling throughout the cake. The recipe for our pink ribbon poke cake is online now as a reminder for all of us to do our part in preventing breast cancer. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a way to gain awareness so everyone can say, ooh, it's so good.
We can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go on over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, put away the sweaters, at least for now, and get out the shorts again. We're staying above average. Could see some locations reach near 90 over the next few days. A wee bit cooler next week. Still watching the chances for some isolated showers and storms, but between here and there, man, it is not October at all. This is like early September.
Yeah.
Looks like it. All right, Chris, thanks. Now, what are your first later on today?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, a new trend among consumers looking to stay afloat and stylish during economic uncertainty. How thrifting is sowing the seed to become a multi-billion-dollar business. Plus, we'll get a sneak peek inside the construction of Missouri Southern's new Health Science Innovation Center. And we're going to meet a local artist whose work is on display in the Miami Public Library. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, lots to look forward to. Dow, thanks. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.